In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use the stencil alphabet alongside the stencil numbers to create a word, both cut as tiles and cut in. So, as you can see here, I've already sort of started messing around with mine and I've placed things in different places. But you get the full alphabet plus extra, an extra S, extra vowels and some question marks and things like that. But what we want to do is we're going to do the word birthday because that fits perfectly in. So I'm going to cut this in the white. So the first thing I do, and this is for ease, is to take a piece of magnetic sheet or a magnetic board and I put my card down to it. This helps with the placement of the dies. I then take either the larger die, and you would do this on a larger piece, from the outside of the alphabet, or the quicker way to do it, if you're doing smaller numbers, is to use the outside from the number die. So I'm just going to stick the outside of the number die in the middle of this piece of card. And I've cut this to 4 inches square because that gives me a really nice piece to work as a background as well, because the waste isn't waste. So because we have the magnetic board here, it means the dies will stay loosely in place until we stick them down, and that makes it so much easier. So I'm going to start with the B for birthday. So B, again, clean my letters out. I, R. So I would suggest you keep them in number order or letter order or alphabetical order on your board. So B-I-R, they're a lot easier to find if you do that one. T, H, I've run through the alphabet so many times just to make sure. T, H, D. So B-I-R-T-H, birth, D, A. And Y. And you'll see you've actually got one space left. So I'm actually going to use one of the stars. So I'm going to use the star from the numbers set to fill in that last one to give me an extra tile. And all you then do is to take your tape and tape those dies in place. And you can see by using the board, they stay in place and you've not got them flying everywhere. There we go. And I simply then remove that from the board and it's ready to cut. So I'm just going to cut this as standard. I'm using my Kaleido. So a standard sort of A5 and above machine will work for these. And we run that through. And then when we take this off, you'll see we have all of the letters. Might need to pop each one out. So B-I-R-T-H-D-A-Y and a star. And when we peel the whole thing off, the waste piece is still a really nice, beautifully designed background, which can be used for other cards or projects. So there we've got the birthday. I now need to take out the individual letters. And what I would suggest is that you pop those back at this point. I'm terrible for not doing that, to be honest. I'm just going to clean out my die. And we'll just scrape these onto my workspace, my plate. I'm going to take a contrasting colour. I've chosen this beautiful magenta pink. Again, I'm using Crafts 2 linen card, which is a 220-240 GSM. And we simply run that through as it stands. There we go. So we run that through without any stencils in there, and that will give us then the same number of blank circles to go behind that will exactly fit the stencil letters. And again, we then have another piece which will make a beautiful background. I've got a pile of those and I keep making them into backgrounds whenever I've got sort of chance and time. So all we need to do now is I'm going to pop these into my spray box, which I'm putting to my side. So you may not be able to see that. So D, T, clean each bit out and put them onto their reverse. You can, of course, keep the star and use that. It's beautiful. You can use the shadows of the letters, but it is quite difficult to get them into place. So that's quite a time-consuming job if you want to use the individual pieces of the letters, just like this, say, in the B. So you can use them in that way, but it is quite difficult and time-consuming. So that's up to you if you want to do that. So we've got D, we've got the I, we've got the R, here's the H, and here's the Y. So I've just put those into my spray box on the reverse. Little bit of spray glue over the top, or you could use Craft Artist Glue Glaze, which is a directional glue with the tip, which makes it even easier. But for speed, I like to use spray glue, and I'm using Craft Mount by 3M. And all I do then is pick up each letter and pop it on top. Make sure they're nice and even. So D, let's pick up that A. Seems to want to run away from me, probably because I've got sticky fingers. So go through each one and pop them on top. Really simple to do. Again, just making sure. And then you've got your stencil letters in your tiles, like Scrabble tiles. And of course, if you wanted to, if you've got square dies, you could cut them out or cut them into squares as well, so that you get square tiles, and you could get yourself sort of Scrabble tiles with that. So there we go, that's all of those done. So now I've got B, I, R, and I'd spend a little bit more time sticking them correctly on the project. I'm just showing you on this one. T, H, D, A, Y, and I've got the star as well. So really simple to do, and then you could stick those onto your project, your scrapbook, or whatever you want to. But there is a second way to use those, and I want to show you that now. So let's just move these birthday out to a different area, and I can put those together and use those for another card or project. And we'll just clean down my board. And this time I want the letters to cut into. So I don't want them as individual tiles. I want them to cut into a piece of card. So what I've got this time is another piece of the white Crafts 2 linen card. I'm putting that down again onto my magnetic board to make it a lot easier. And I'm going to use this time a long tag or border tag from the Firth Park tags. And again, put that in the middle of the card. This is 8 inches, the piece of card, so you can see the die itself is almost 8 inches long. And we're just going to tape that down. And then I'm going to use exactly the same letters. And I'm going to go with the B and put that into place. So B, I, and you just want to make sure this time, this is where the magnetic board comes really in handy, because it keeps them in place and keeps them straight. And if you notice, the Firth Park tags have got the exact gap because they were designed to work perfectly with this. So just keep it in place. T, H, D, A and Y. And obviously you can come up with whatever word or name or anything that you want to. You can then, once they're into place, check that they're right. You've got them even. So get them stood up the right way. There we go. Make sure you're nice and happy with how those look. And it's an even spacing. And then take a long piece of tape and tape those down onto there as well. And then all we need to do is take that off the magnetic board. And once again, bring in your plates, and this will still fit on your A5 machine. Okay, and we just simply run that through. So I'm just running that through, and I'll take it forward and backwards just to make sure I get everything cut. There we go. So I'll turn it over and just check. Yeah, everything's cut. And I simply then peel away the tag. We'll take the bits out. I won't spend sort of hours doing that, but you can see there that what I've got now is birthday cut perfectly through the middle of that tag. So again, you would look at it and wonder, oh, how have you done that? And all I'm simply going to do is to add a strip of a contrasting colour, and I've cut this to 1.25 inches because it fits exactly. So I'm just simply going to glue this down to the back. A little bit of spray glue just for speed. There we go. And I will trim this one out. There we go. And that way I have the perfect tag, which reads birthday. Just again, get the little bits out. You could spend a little bit longer than I do, just making sure you've got any bits that have stuck in there, or giving it a flick to get them out, or using your brush. There we go. Is that everything? Nope. You see how these release really simply and easily. So we'll just get those out. Okay. I get quite quick at doing this, as I do this quite a lot. And my preference has always been to take the pieces out of the die cut rather than try and piece them out of the die. And you can see there, we have birthday running completely straightly across the middle of that tag. And what you'll notice is when you see there, you don't get an indent from the circle when you use the tag with it. And with the tag, you get the tag, and you also get, just listing this one over, a smaller tag as well, which you could do on that one. You could do 32nd and have birthday on it. So there's lots of different options of using them together. Of course, if you're careful, you can then peel that birthday away and use that on another piece to actually cut directly in, but that way you will get some circle impressions in there, but that looks quite nice. So 2 different ways to use the new alphabet tags. Stencils, really simple, really easy, and give you beautiful, effective cards. And there we've got the little letters with the birthday. Enjoy.